It's gonna be another sword what if. I might be putting a lot of swords in my what if recently. If this comes out whenever I want it to. But this is just some idea. And this is the picture that it's gonna go to. So we'll start this off like any other. It's Deku's childhood. So Deku's around 4 to 3, like he is whenever you're supposed to be in kindergarten and all that. Sorry, I just had to stop my cat from scratching her ear out because she does that. But, and he would be playing around. As, stop. Okay, give me a second. Sorry, my cat has something in her ear. She does it a lot, where she itches her ear and she hurts herself. So I have to stop her every time she does it. But it's where all the kids in the classroom are outside playing around and talking about heroes. And it comes to Deku. So everybody agreed upon not to say All Might and all that. And Deku says a hero which was known as a sort of anti-hero figure. He was not really in the spotlight a lot, but he did take down a lot of villains by himself. He never joined an organization or anything like that, but he's still in the top 10 heroes. To be specifically, he's the number 6 hero. And he has a number tattooed on his neck, which would be 129. And he has a blade quirk, which has different stages, as people call it. He has, and he would normally just swing around a normal looking blade, but his blade would transform into different forms, turning into a curved blade or a sickle of sorts, and then into a gigantic version, which gave him a very large range of attack that he used to sweep down villains with it, cutting through anything in its path. One of his abilities is known as weightless. Anytime that the blade hit against somebody or cut against them, they would get lighter. Which this may seem like they can run faster, but instead, if he strikes them too many times, they can't put any force onto the ground, or they'll send themselves skyrocketing in the air, leaving them unable to attack back. And he used this very well, with him able to make stuff crumble, and him able to make them weightless by striking them and turn off his quirk to make it fall, using rubble in his way as a weapon and a way to rescue people. Which would surprise everybody, that he likes that hero, since there's not too much fans over there, since he's not really smiling in the camera hero. And so that's whenever I would say Bakugo, who's been friends with them more and would know that saying to them, of course that would be his hero, that's his father. Which would be the first news of Deku's parents being a hero, since not many people know about this hero. Not even most people know his real name. Sort of like All Might. So everybody would give him praise and wonder if he'll get a quirk like his father. Until it comes around. He would be with his mother, Inko, as his father's new hero work, and would arrive through the window, ready to be told what his quirk is. And so to be told, Deku has a same sword quirk as his father, but with a different ability. The ability is still activated by touch through his sword, which allows him to manipulate stuff like telekinesis, demonstrating as Deku pull out his sword, which would be completely black, touching a rock or like a pencil or something, making that float in the air. As he would swing it, he would rocket it enough to be stuck in concrete or like the wall in it. And that would impress the doctors with people clapping, saying that your kid or Azuku has a very impressive quirk and a very strong one at a young age. He's probably going to become a hero in the future. He has strong hopes and all that. He's almost guaranteed to be one. Chill out, cat. The cat's on my lap and she almost fell off. Isn't that right, Mama? Meow for me? No? Okay. Just want to be fed. But, so, he would go off, with his father being happy for him, swirling him around in his room, as his father would tell him to experiment with it. As they're going around making stuff flow with their quirks, since they can his father can make it weightless where it floats, and Deku can move it around. And that's when his father comes up with the idea of making Izuku be able to control him in the air, since his quirk can work on himself. If he needs to get on top of a building, he can make himself weightless, get on top of it quickly. As Deku would touch the back of his blade on his father, and he would start levitating him. But soon after, Deku would fall to the ground, exhausted, and his father would drop, but he would land on his feet. And his father would stop, saying, "Sorry about that, Izuku. It must have been hard. Your quirk is strong, but you'll run out of energy soon. But I'd say, whenever I get off patrol, we can train together to make sure you train on your sword skills." So Deku did get taught how to sort of swing a sword from his father whenever he got home, but now whenever he trains with his father, they can tell it's more serious to school. And everybody's freaking about how Deku's quirk is really cool. As a mix between his father and his mother's, with him gaining a stronger telekinesis from his mother and the same sword quirk as his father. And so everybody's freaking out about it, and Bakugo's quirk comes up. And Bakugo, being angry that he's not getting as much attention as Deku, he would challenge him to a fight there. So to start, Deku would be able to swing a sword, but he would put his sword on the flat side if you ever swinged it. But what he would do is that he would go around touching stuff around the school. And what he did touch before this battle was a hose. Whenever it starts, Deku would swing it towards him, wrapping around Bakugo's hand, since he knows he has explosion quirks. As he would swing his sword, hitting Bakugo in the ribs, which made him fall to the ground. Bakugo would have enough power in his explosions to explode enough off of the rubber to rip it. So he would start throwing explosions at Deku, and Deku, even though he's a child, but if a child gets trained from a hero, in this universe, just to explain that, he would be stronger than others. So he'd be able to dodge Bakugo and swing his sword down on his shoulder, winning. That's what people call it, as people freak out about it. And Bakugo develops a hatred or a rivalry against Deku from there. As Deku would get home, getting ready to train with his father, going to get outside, and they would train on the basics. I would say until Deku was 10, where his quirk is much stronger now, and his body is too. His father waited this long since he wants to teach him how to make his sword go above this, as he says that he needs a medium of sorts, a object. So he explains how his object that he applied to a sword was a balloon, which is also part of one of my special moves. The balloon pretty much popping is what it signals whenever he goes into his final sword form, which many people know him for. As they would go around town looking for it, saying that if your sword comes in contact with it, you would have found it out. And his father being his hero suit, which wouldn't be much. It would just be the... I would say it would be more like civilian clothes. Or more like a bartender. Barkeep. As they walk around, as people are looking at him as he's walking with his kid, with his sword. People ask him what he's doing, and he says that he's trying to find out how to make his kid's quirk go to its next level. As people would be posting this around and all that, and they're wondering what's happening, a villain attack would happen. I say this villain's quirk has the power of, like, the second sun. You know that game, which I think most people played before. And I personally like the game, even though people may call it easy, but I really like it. And the smoke power is one of my favorite. As he would swing around the chains, flying through the area, as his father would jump in action, striking his chains, making them weightless. As he would transform his sword into its sickle form, allowing him to use this ability much stronger, almost immediately making them float. So he would jump up, putting his sword through the little gaps between the chains, and would have made himself weightless, and then suddenly pulling it over his shoulder, making himself heavy, allowing him to swing the chain with the guy, slamming him to the ground. As the chains would fall down where Deku is, it would be falling down. These chains are like the normal chains, but there's still a whole bunch of them about to fall on him. As Deku would swing his sword, touching it, as he closes his eyes, as they will float, connecting to the bottom of his sword, which his father would be surprised of, saying that his medium was chains. I wonder why. As he would land back down, touching himself with a sword, making him weightless, where he'll float down, turning the sword back to normal, putting it away. As his father would say good job to Deku, ruffling his hair, picking him up, saying that you want to come and patrol with me some more times? And so Deku will. Deku would go on patrol for him for a lot of times, up until Deku is 13. Where one day, he was known as a psychic. Maybe people thought he was wrong for doing this, And many people think he just wanted his son to do, he did what his son wanted and all that. So there's mixed feelings about why his son's like a psychic. But this will be time for a villain attack of sorts. It was definitely an organized attack. Don't scratch your ear out, swear to God. That's why you have a huge cut on your ear, poor thing. You know, the doctors or the vet did that. They took like a whole chunk of her ear. It's sad. I might post a picture. But yeah, it's poor thing. But as it was I can't speak right now. In this one, it would be some Nomus of sorts. These Nomus had the ability of bomber Nomus, given the title of that. Which I'm not going to go in specifics of what they are, since if you guys don't know it, then too bad, I'm sorry. But it's not that important. It's not technically canon, but it is connected to it. It's canon, but not exactly known in the regular story. As they would be, if you guys know it, I'm just using them for something. It's not the actual thing. As in this incident, buildings were blown up, and the first one to be able to call was Deku's father. With the incident of them blowing up him, and what's left was his arm and his sword, causing grief for the Midoriya family, causing Deku to become a hero, and find out what these creatures were from this organization that did an attack. And so, Deku would train from there. So you would think on how his father was training him for this until it's middle school. Middle school, people know about what his father did and that he was a hero. Many people know about the bomber incident, the the suicide bombers with these weird quirks or these monster bombers, which killed him in the process, or kills his father. And many people know how strong his quirk is by now. As it'll be time for him to go home, as everybody hears that he's going to UA, which people are not surprised of, since his father was a hero. As he'd be leaving after Bako tries to fight him once, but he would be walking through a tunnel, meeting up with a sludge villain. But whenever the sludge villain gets in his face, Deku would have stabbed the ground, cracking it, and not like a small crack, like destroying it with his hand. As he would have twisted his sword, as the rocks would hover up, as he would take this chance to shoot them off like bullets with a lot of pressure behind them, which would splat apart pieces of the sludge villain, as he would use them to fly past him and continue hitting him until they would pop him to nothing, or just spread him apart. Or as All Might would come in seeing this, as Deku swings his sword at the sludge villain, hitting it and causing him to be able to fling it. All Might asks what's going on, and as he sees Deku, he can definitely tell this is Asashi's son. His hair was green, all that, but you can tell from how he looks in his face and that sword quirk. As he asks, so you took down the sludge villain, but how? As Deku would put up his hand, showing the rocks as he would spin them in like a circle. As that he just used his telekinesis to throw these rocks around until he was down. And so he was able to take him down. Stop swinging your tail and hitting me in the face. But he was able to take him down. As he says good job to him and all that, and he would say that your father would be proud of you. So he would jump off. As Deku would say goodbye. As Deku would be walking until he would hear an explosion. So he would touch himself in the back with his blade, as he would have shot himself upwards with his telekinesis, getting him up to a building, and he would jump to one to the other, running, as he would be face to face jumping down, as he would see Bakugo in trouble. Someone would see the kid up there and he's wondering what he's doing, as he would see the kid put his sword up, as the chains would wrap around his arm, as he would jump down. As All Might thinks is he crazy, but he thinks if he took down a sludge villain, he may be able to do it again. As he would swing his sword, cutting pieces of metal around the area that are halfway melted from the flames from being in them, and would use them to blow apart the sludge villain piece by piece, falling down, as he would make himself levitate with his telekinesis and would kick off the wall, with people just seeing him stop in midair for a second and kick off the wall, speeding towards the sludge villain. So the sludge villain tries to grab him, but he would dodge, hitting off the ground, going for literally a direct right, going left, then shooting himself above the sludge villain, falling down, slashing off a part of it, as he would manipulate it, ripping him off of Bakugo, grabbing him, and touching him with his blade, throwing him back with his telekinesis, as he would look towards the sludge villain, as he says he's done. As he would have, his chains would like melt, creating a sort of glove thing connecting his hand to its blade, as he would swing his blade, throwing a telekinesis attack. It's similar to how Mob Psycho is, as you can see the colorful color from Mob using his power, his telekinesis. That's what it looks like from Deku's blade. As you would go straight through the sludge villain, popping him. As Deku would have felt tired from this, so he would fall back onto his sword, touching it and turning off it, as the chains would turn back to normal, wrapping and turning small again, wrapping off of him and turning small again. As people start congratulating him, as the heroes can see the strain in him from using his quirk, as they go up to him and tell him that it's dangerous and all that, and tell him to sit down, and Deku would, putting away his sword. As he would take a breather, asking Bakugo if he's okay. Whenever he looks at him, Bakugo would say, "Of course I am, I don't need your help, Deku." And Deku would say, yeah. whatever you say. Until you get up and start walking home. Getting home, meeting up with his mother, telling her that he'll be going out to train somewhere else, so you won't be in the backyard anymore, since they don't live in an apartment anymore. Asking if she knows any place where there's not a lot of people at, and she'd mentioned Devil Dog Beach. And so we get ready to head there. And this is where I'm going to end it off, so peace out.